Hey guys, it's Jessie, and I know I've talked about it here and there a couple times, but today I wanted to really talk about my experience being on the keto diet and share some of my favorite products which have helped me stick to the keto diet. So I started doing keto at the beginning of May of 2018. I had just been perpetually gaining weight. I have had injured back for a couple of years and I just haven't been able to exercise, and I just kind of was eating whatever I want, and that just was not working for me anymore. And so I had seen a lot of people talking about the keto diet, and at first I was like, oh my god, how can I ever give up pasta? How can I ever give up carbs? Like, this just isn't gonna work for me. But after I started researching the keto diet and kind of seeing what foods I could eat, it made me interested to try it. And so honestly, I went into it with kind of low expectations and kind of just trying to ease myself into it, because really I wanted to change my whole way of eating. I didn't want to just do a diet. I wasn't just doing this just to lose weight. I really just wanted to be healthier and make some healthy, positive changes in my diet and my lifestyle. So in the beginning, when I started, I wasn't super strict on myself about counting my carbs, counting my calories, doing all those things. I kind of just cut out the carbs and the sugar to see if I could handle that, see if I felt okay, and see if this was sustainable. And I hear all these people talk about the keto flu when they first go on keto, and to be honest, I didn't have that, thankfully. I think because I didn't eat a lot of sugar before, that sugar crash didn't really affect me. I've never been really a sweets person, but I am definitely a pastaholic. I can eat an entire box of pasta. It's not good. But really, a few weeks in after I got started and really got rolling, I didn't even miss the pasta. I didn't crave the pasta, I didn't crave bread. I kind of just got past it, and I found other things to eat that honestly made me feel better and were better for me. About a month or so in, I started using the app MyFitnessPal to track what I was eating and doing a little bit more stricter keto and sticking to my calories and sticking to my carbs. And I did that for a couple months, and then for the last couple months I've been off of that and just doing lazy keto, which is where you obviously don't eat high carbs, but you're not tracking it and being super strict about it. For me, I eat the same thing pretty much every day, so I know that if I am eating the same thing every day, I know that I'm not going crazy on my macros. But I do want to get back to stricter keto and keeping track of what I eat, because I think it just keeps me a little bit more accountable. And I think it's also good because I do want to get back into trying to lose a little bit more weight. So that'll help kind of get me back in line. So I've tried a lot of diets over the years. I did Weight Watchers for a while. I tried Atkins. I think I did South Beach. I've tried every single diet, and I never really lost that much weight, and I never really stuck to it, and I kind of was just over it after a month or so. And that's really why I went into this with not putting too much expectation on myself. I know a lot of people have crazy results. The first week, people will lose 10 pounds the first week. But I didn't want to get obsessed with the numbers and the number on the scale, because I didn't want to get discouraged, and I didn't want to stop because I was being discouraged. I really wanted to go off of how I was feeling and just keep that going. And I do have to say, I feel I have so much more energy being on keto. My body just feels better, not having the carbs. I've always been really bad about skipping breakfast and then having a moderate sized lunch, and then I end up having a huge dinner. And honestly, after I eat a big dinner, I just feel like crap, and I'd still feel like crap the next morning because I had all that food just sitting in my stomach, and I just always felt bleh. And since I've been doing keto, I don't have that. I just feel great. Really, one of my biggest issues with keto is that I don't eat meat. I eat fish and seafood, but I don't eat meat. So it's hard for me to find kind of different things to eat. That's why I end up eating just about the same thing, which gets a little bit boring and repetitive, but I make it work. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into some of my favorite keto products. So I'm definitely a snacker. I love having crackers. I love goldfish or chips and stuff like that. And so that was kind of hard for me when I started keto, because I just was used to having food. I think I'm a boredom eater. If I'm not doing something, I just need to have something in my hands. I need to be shoveling food in my mouth, I guess. But like I said, that was definitely one of the hardest things to adjust to, was not having snacks. beyond eating like a piece of cheese, which is now like my go-to snack. And so I was learning all about keto and I was watching all these different keto YouTube channels, and they kept talking about flackers. And I was a little weird about like flaxseed. I was like, I've never had flaxseed before. Am I gonna like flaxseed? Like, is this gonna taste like garbage? Like, is it just gonna taste like cardboard? But I ended up picking up flackers at Whole Foods, and it turns out I really like flackers. This is them. They're organic flaxseed crackers. I get the rosemary flavor and I get the sea salt flavor. I really like the rosemary ones. I feel like they're very seasoned. The sea salt are also good. And what I do with these a lot is I put goat cheese on them or other kinds of cheese. They're also good if you have guacamole or something like that, some kind of dip. They're easy to dip into. I feel like that's another thing that's a little weird getting used to on keto is like when you go out or you go to your friends or you know, you go anywhere, like there's guacamole, there's salsa, there's hummus, there's whatever. And it's hard to find something unless you like chop up cucumbers or something like that to dip into without like using a fork, which trust me, I've done that. Like I have sat there and eaten spinach artichoke dip with a fork out with my friends. But this kind of helps like fill that void. If I go over to a friend's house, I can take these with me and then I have something to dip with. It sounds silly, but when you're on keto, you appreciate things like this. I've seen a lot of people online making their own flackers because these are a little expensive. I think it's like $6 for this tiny little bag. And that's definitely something I want to try, but I'm just get lazy and I'm like, I'll buy the flackers. And really the bag does last me a little while because I don't just like chow down on these. I can have like one or two and be happy. So the bags do last me a while. As I said before, I eat the same thing for lunch just about every single day. And that is I chop up a cucumber, I chop up an avocado, I throw in some feta cheese, and then I put the Primal Kitchen Green Goddess avocado oil dressing on top of it. This stuff is so good. Primal Kitchen makes, I think, like 7 or 8 flavors of this. I've had their Caesar, which is really good. They have a ranch. They have a million different flavors. But this one is just my favorite. These are made with avocado oil, so it's really good for keto. And it's just super tasty. You could also put this on a salad. I just really like it with my avocado and my cucumber. That's my lunch. I'm a very simple person. Next, I have another product from Primal Kitchen, which I was a little nervous to try, but then it actually turned out to be really good, and that is their organic unsweetened ketchup. Like I said, I don't eat meat, but I do like the Beyond Meat burgers, although I just found out that they're actually not super keto friendly, but I had been eating them a lot. But ketchup was one of the things I was like missing, and I tried to just use like mayonnaise and mustard on my burger, but I was like, sometimes you just need ketchup. And so I tried this out. It actually tastes really good. It tastes like real ketchup. It doesn't taste artificial, and it does have the sweetness like regular ketchup. So I do highly recommend this if you are craving ketchup. So I am a mayonnaise-aholic. I know there are people who hate mayonnaise and there's people who love mayonnaise. My mom absolutely hates mayonnaise and will not go anywhere near it. But I love mayonnaise. Being on keto, I make a lot of egg salad, deviled eggs, a lot of stuff like that. And so for mayonnaise, I use the Chosen Foods avocado oil mayo. This obviously, as it's in the name, uses avocado oil instead of canola oil, which is not great for you. Whole Foods sells like a tiny one like this for like 10 bucks. You can get the huge size from Costco for like $7, and I live off this stuff. I've gone through so many jars of this. This is like my absolute favorite thing in the world. So if you are a mayonnaise addict like me, I highly recommend this, and I highly recommend getting it from Costco. Another thing that is way more cost effective to get from Costco is almond flour. This is the Kirkland brand almond flour. This is a huge bag. This is a 3-pound bag, and I think this is like 11 bucks, and that's cheaper than you're gonna find it anywhere, and it's really good. Blanched almond flour. Some of my favorite things to make with almond flour are mug breads. I make lemon bars. I made a chocolate lemon meringue pie for Thanksgiving. I love almond flour. I also have been buying coconut flour and coconut oil, but I think that I have some sort of allergic reaction to coconut. Before Thanksgiving, I made a cake with coconut milk and it made me really, really sick. And then I also was putting MCT oil in my coffee, which is really concentrated coconut oil, and it was like giving me major anxiety attacks. And so I'm not totally sure, but by process of elimination, I'm pretty sure that it was the coconut products that are messing me up. So I've stopped using coconut products. If I had to use a little coconut flour in something, I probably would, and I would probably be okay. But almost every recipe that I use calls for almond flour. So I've been going through a lot of almond flour instead. I found that if there's something that I really want to eat, there is a way to make it keto for the most part. So that's another reason why I haven't felt super deprived, is because I just find a way to make it so that I can eat it. I just talked about a couple of the things that I've baked, and as a replacement for sugar in most of my baking, I use Swerve. I have the confectioners and the granular. This stuff is another thing at Whole Foods that's massively expensive. But if I want to make something, this tastes really good and there's really no way around it. This is another thing. I don't go through a tremendous amount. I don't bake all the time. I'm not baking like every single day. So it does last me a while, but I think that these are like $8 or $9 for these pretty small bags of sweetener. I've also bought granulated erythritol on Amazon, and I do use that all the time for baking as well, and it's good too. So if you're into baking. Next is one of my probably most essential keto items, because I'm a major coffeeholic. I feel like I talk about this all the time. And while I can go without like cream or milk in my coffee, I have to have it sweet. I like my coffee black but sweet. Like my man, no. And so I've always been a sweet and low addict. I know it's artificial, I know it's terrible for you, but that was always like my one vice, was that I just put sweet and low in everything. I know when you start keto, everyone's like stevia, 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 and I was really worried that I wasn't gonna like stevia like I like my sweet and low, but I got this Better Stevia Original 0-Calorie Liquid Sweetener, and this stuff is amazing. I'm actually almost out. This is already my second bottle of this. I put this in everything. It's so good in my coffee. I use it for baking as well. It's just amazing. I think it tastes really good. I think it tastes sweet without tasting too artificial. It tastes really good, and I love it. My next item I use for baking, I also just use for snacking, and that is the Lily's Dark Chocolate Premium Baking Chips. Oh, these are so good. Another item that's just crazy expensive, stupid expensive, but they do put them on sale at Whole Foods a fair amount. Like I said before, I've never been like a huge sweets person, and I'm not a huge like milk chocolate person at all. I don't like milk chocolate. I hate white chocolate, but I do love dark chocolate. I think because it's not super, super sweet. And so I just absolutely love these. I can have a little handful and pop those in my mouth, and that holds me over for a little while. It just adds. So these are great for just snacking. I can just grab a little handful and shove them in my mouth, and I feel like I've had something tasty. I also melt them down and make chocolate peanut butter balls with them all the time. I also use this as the chocolate in my aforementioned chocolate lemon meringue pie. They do have a little bit of a different consistency than regular chocolate when you melt them, and that takes some messing around with, and to be honest, I'm still kind of messing around with that, and it's a little bit trial and error. But this is the best option for chocolate that I found on keto. They also obviously make bars, which are really good. I'm just out of them right now because I've eaten them all. I need to stop eating those chocolate bars. They're so tasty. Next is definitely an essential for me. I don't think I could live without these at this point. I've become majorly addicted to them. And that is Zevia, which is soda sweetened with stevia. This is another thing you can get at Whole Foods, but I think Target is also now starting to sell them, and I know Amazon sells them as well. I really like this cola flavor. It's kind of a mixture of Coke and Diet Coke. Like, it has the bubbles and a little bit of the sweetness from Coke. I don't know, it's pretty tasty. I think it's definitely an acquired taste, but I've gotten really used to it. I really like it. I also buy the grapefruit citrus flavor because it kind of tastes like Fresca. Also, my favorite thing to do with this is I use this as a mixer with tequila, and it's super tasty. Okay, my last item is one of my newest keto discoveries, and it might be the best one ever. These are the Outer Aisle Gourmet Cauliflower Sandwich Thins. They also make pizza crusts. So in the grocery store, in Whole Foods, in Publix, everywhere, there are tons of cauliflower pizza crusts on the market. And they say that they're gluten-free and all this stuff, but all of them that I have seen, and I have looked at a lot of them, all of them still have like potato starch or wheat flour or something in them that makes them not keto friendly. And for me, that just really pisses me off because I think it's stupid to advertise something as a cauliflower pizza when it has all these other ingredients in it. And that is what I absolutely love about these. These are only cauliflower and Parmesan cheese and I think eggs. Let's see, cauliflower, egg, Parmesan cheese, and nutritional yeast. So they have 2 grams of carb and 1 gram of dietary fiber, which means they only have 1 gram of total net carb. And they are just so tasty. I'm not usually a huge cauliflower person. I don't like cauliflower like regular whole cauliflower, just not into it. But these have enough Parmesan cheese in them. They are so tasty. I was making my Beyond Meat burgers on these until I discovered that I shouldn't eat them. But now I make grilled cheese on these and it is so good. I have that for lunch or dinner now, I think like probably 5 times a week. And the pizza crusts are really good too. I use those all the time. I'm actually out because I just ate my last pizza crust. So these are a little bit pricey, but I think they're totally worth it. It comes with 6 pieces in here and the pizza crusts come with 2 pizza crusts, and I think these are like $6. I think the pizza crusts are like $6 or $7 too. You can get them on the Outer Aisle website. These are actually from my second delivery. The first time I ordered just like 1 of each just to see if I liked them. I loved them, and so I did a second order, and they actually arrived pretty fast. I feel like they got here in like 3 or 4 days, which is pretty good. They also last a really long time. I think they'll last in the refrigerator for like 30 days, and if you put them in the freezer, they'll last for like 6 months or something like that. And I think you can also not even refrigerate them. I think that's what it says also when it comes. But I just find these to be super tasty, and it's also really nice just to have something super easy that's already ready-made and you don't have to make. I find that's one of the more frustrating sides of doing keto is that I have to make everything. I don't have a lot of like ready-made food products. So this is something nice, like if it gets late and I haven't had dinner and just want a quick dinner, I can make a grilled cheese on these, or I can make a little mini pizza, or I can make a pizza on the pizza crusts. They're just really good. What can I say? So those are a lot of my favorite keto products. Those are the items that I bought over and over and over again, and honestly what has kept the keto diet sustainable for me, because you can still eat things that taste good, they just don't have to have carbs or sugar in them. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.